Hey everybody, welcome to the Dutchman's Wood Shack. A quick update on what I'm doing. Now yesterday, I'll bring this over closer. Yesterday I had a little bit of a trivia question for you guys. What was, and I'll rephrase this, okay, so people don't get confused. Now, it is history books. This is documented. It's also documented by the people that are the archaeologists on the ships, the guys that restored them. I had a chance to visit Mystic Seaport a few years ago, and they were restoring the Mayflower too, which is really kind of cool. I love masted ships. Okay, so anyway, if you ever see what one looks like, they're tall. And when they're out of the water, they're very tall and narrow. They're not very wide. Okay, so they're long, but they're deep in the hull. Anyway, they had the whole back end of the ship off, and I thought it was pretty cool. I was watching, they're using chainsaws and the old tools that you would use to carve just back in the old days. They were actually emulating these guys doing this. But anyway, I had a chance to talk to a guy that showed me around. It was a curator, and he was telling me the story about a lot of these ships. So there were certain parts of the country you would get particular kind of wood, and the wood had a specific name and a specific duty on it. Okay. Now it just so happens that one of the ships that were built there was the USS Constitution. Okay, and everybody knows this story probably. A lot of people had a hard time, a lot of the countries had a hard time sinking that ship because they would fire the cannonballs off and it would bounce off the hull. Why was it bouncing off the hull? It was because of this type of wood right here. This is what a piece of what he gave me that they used to reconstruct some of this stuff and replace the rotten wood. So this is pretty cool, but this is what they call live oak. Live oak, Live oak. And that's what I was trying to say. I guess it was kind of hard to word it. It is oak, but it's only found in a couple places in the country. One was back east, somewhere. It's a very dense wood. This stuff is like concrete. I could take a hammer to it. I could drop it on the ground. It won't. This piece right here is probably about 25, 30 pounds. It's very, very heavy. It's dense. But yeah, that's the reason why when somebody was firing at the Constitution, it would bounce off because it was so dense. But Georgia and California, I think somebody said Georgia, but back east somewhere, I know in California, there's a couple of oaks out there that aren't like the oaks that are here. One is live oak. And, okay, I used to be a firefighter. And a lot of times on these forest fires that used to go on, there was live oak. And very sappy. Oak in general is very sappy. But there was this other one. There was bur oak. There was live oak. There was scrub oak. Scrub oak is almost like live oak. Now scrub oak's more like a bush. It kind of is bushy. It doesn't get that big. Scrub oak has a tendency to be like curly. A lot of guys like to use it nowadays if you can find it and get the curly knots and curly wood out of it. But that's what people used to use to build ships with that were on the outside. Now, the downfall is because it's so heavy, it has to be a massive ship. It had to be a big ship in order to make it work because anything smaller would probably sink it, you know. So it was very interesting educational thing out there. If I was, I'd love to give classes in that. That just was so amazing how they built ships 300-400 years ago, you know. If you look at the way the Vikings used to construct their ships, they weren't very big either, or the Hawaiians. You know, maybe, I don't know, 500-600 years ago, some of the ships that everybody was making were, they're actually, it's probably longer than that, but Vikings were actually the first ones to discover America, not Christopher Columbus. There you go. But, actually, I'll take that back. There were people living there. There were people living in the United States at the time, before it was the United States, of course, and it was the Native American Indians. All right, so, but the ones that landed on this continent were from another place. So, anyway, that's what I had to say. I'm going to correct some people. I'm sorry if I didn't word it right. My spell check was off. But, and that's what I'm saying. I'm going to take that to the bank. I'll throw more woodworking trivia when I can. Okay, well, here's one I'll throw at you. Okay, when they started doing TV shows on woodworking, what was the first woodworking show on TV? Okay, what was the first woodworking show on TV? With that note, have a great day.